Steelers fans, things are heating up in Pittsburgh. Art Rooney II, Mike Tomlin, and even a former Eagles scout have joined the discussion about the franchise's future, and what's been said could change everything. When it comes to the quarterback position, a surprising choice might be on the way. And no, it's not who you're thinking. The next season could mark a new direction for the Steelers, but is it the right one? You can't miss a single detail, so hit that like button and let's dive into the video. The Steelers have always been synonymous with stability. Since the days of Chuck Noll, the franchise has prided itself on loyalty to its coaches, and Mike Tomlin is the biggest example of that. He's been in charge for 18 seasons, led the team to 2 Super Bowls, and won 1. For many teams, that would be a cause for eternal celebration. But for Pittsburgh fans, not so much. The playoff drought has made the fan base impatient, demanding changes. Not small tweaks, but something truly impactful. However, Art Rooney II's vision of change might not align with what the fans want. The franchise owner believes the adjustments made after the 2023 season were significant and wants to see how they play out. Meanwhile, the Steelers are looking across the state and seeing the Eagles operate very differently. GM Howie Roseman has turned Philadelphia into a powerhouse by making bold decisions and not being afraid to shake things up. Former Eagles scout John Middlecoff discussed this on the Chipped Ham and Football podcast, saying the Steelers need to embrace change the way the Eagles do. The Eagles just aren't afraid to change and keep everyone on their toes, Middlecoff said. I spent a lot of time there, and it's an intense environment. Howie never settles. Tomlin talks about, the standard is the standard, but that's just not true anymore. The Eagles' philosophy is clear. Talent isn't the only thing that matters. They've made tough choices like moving on from Andy Reid, one of the greatest coaches in NFL history, and it worked out for both sides. Plus, Roseman, who has a law background rather than a football background, thinks more like an executive than a former player or coach. This allows him to make rational decisions without emotional attachment. Middlecoff pointed to a key example. The Steelers built their roster with guys like TJ Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick, high-character, hardcore players who live for football, so they wouldn't have done what the Eagles did with Jalen Carter. They also don't handle personalities like George Pickens well. Now look at what the Eagles did with Carson Wentz. They drafted Jalen Hurts a year before trading him. Do you think the Steelers would do something like that? No chance. Of course, the Eagles also deal with strong personalities. Middlecoff noted that wide receivers are naturally weird and that A.J. Brown, for example, sometimes talks too much. But there's a big difference between being outspoken and abandoning the team. The Steelers, on the other hand, avoid change whenever possible, but making moves just for the sake of it isn't the answer either. The key is finding a balance between stability and the courage to take risks when necessary. And now comes the biggest challenge. The Steelers are no longer the kings of the AFC North. Since Ben Roethlisberger retired, the team hasn't found a quarterback of his caliber, while Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson dominate the division. If Pittsburgh wants to return to the top, they'll have to make a bold decision about the most important position in the game. But do they have the guts to do it? What do you think? Do the Steelers need to take a page out of the Eagles' playbook and shake things up, or should they stay patient? So, Steelers Nation, does the team need a mindset shift to get back on top? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And speaking of changes, the quarterback situation holds a huge surprise. It looks like the Pittsburgh Steelers already have a clear plan for the quarterback position, and the name at the top of their list is not Russell Wilson. According to multiple insiders, including ESPN's Louis Riddick and CBS Sports' Aditi Kinkhabwala, offensive coordinator Arthur Smith and others within the organization prefer bringing back Justin Fields as Plan A, while Wilson is only a Plan B. Riddick, speaking on Get Up, explained that Smith has a genuine interest in developing Fields as a true pocket passer. They want to work with him and see if they can take his game to the next level. Justin is still evolving, the analyst said. Last season, Fields took over when Wilson was injured and helped Pittsburgh to a 4-2 record. He played a safer, more controlled style that seemingly won over the coaching staff. However, as soon as Wilson was healthy in Week 7, Mike Tomlin reinstated him as the starter, and that's when things started to fall apart. The Steelers suffered a 5-game losing streak, and reports suggest the relationship between Wilson and Smith deteriorated in the process. Now, With free agency approaching on March 12th, both Fields and Wilson are set to test the market. But according to King Kabwala on 93.7 The Fan, the key decision-makers in Pittsburgh believe Fields has the potential to be the future QB and want him back. Meanwhile, some rumors have attempted to link Pittsburgh to Aaron Rodgers, but insiders close to the team insist that's not happening. The same goes for Matthew Stafford and Sam Darnold, who are unlikely to be on the Steelers' radar. At the end of the day, Arthur Smith might simply believe continuity is the best path for 2025. If that's the case, the big question is Justin Fields ready to take the next step and fully take over the offense? If Pittsburgh wants to truly compete again, they need to make bold decisions. But are they betting on the right path? While other teams are making aggressive moves, the Steelers seem stuck in a pattern that no longer works. Justin Fields could be the answer, or just another mistake in the search for the ideal QB. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates on our team.